Picture this. You're meticulously planning a dream vacation, one you've saved for months. Tickets are booked, itineraries finalized, but the day before departure, a sudden storm grounds all flights, shattering your plans. Frustration bubbles up, and you're left wondering, why now? Why me? This feeling that life is stacked against you is something we've all experienced. Plans unravel, relationships falter, and our hard work sometimes feels invisible. It's like being caught in a storm, battered by winds of disappointment and waves of self-doubt. Yet, in moments like these, the question isn't, why is life unfair, but how can I respond? Here's where Stoicism steps in, a philosophy rooted in resilience dating back over 2,000 years. Stoicism doesn't sugarcoat hardships or dismiss pain. Instead, it teaches you to face life's inevitable struggles with courage and clarity. Think of it as an anchor, grounding you when chaos swirls. Each setback, seen through a Stoic lens, becomes a stepping stone. Adversity is no longer the enemy, but a teacher. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, likened life to a wrestling match. Difficulties, he said, show a person's true character. Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Stoic Practice, your compass to navigate the complexities of modern life with ancient wisdom. Now, let's take this idea deeper with 7 key Stoic principles to guide you through adversity. Much of the disappointment we face in life stems from unrealistic expectations. Expectations we place on other people, ourselves, and the circumstances we find ourselves in. When reality doesn't live up to the standards we've set, the result is often frustration, sadness, or a sense of betrayal. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, offered a piece of advice that might feel jarring at first. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, and disloyalty." At first glance, this statement might sound bleak, almost cynical, but in truth, it's an exercise in preparation. Marcus wasn't suggesting that we adopt a negative view of life, but rather that we build resilience by accepting life as it is, flawed and unpredictable. By acknowledging that challenges, misunderstandings, and imperfections are inevitable, we can prepare our minds to handle them with grace. This doesn't mean we abandon hope for good things or stop striving to improve the world around us. Instead, it means we stop being blindsided when things don't go as planned. Imagine starting your day with this mindset. Picture yourself walking into work, knowing full well that not everyone you meet will be kind or agreeable. If a colleague snaps at you, it won't shake you as much because you've already made peace with the fact that people have their own struggles and bad days. Or consider a scenario where your carefully laid plans fall apart due to circumstances beyond your control. Instead of spiraling into frustration, you remind yourself that life is inherently unpredictable. This shift in perspective doesn't eliminate challenges, but it does make them easier to navigate, because you've already set realistic expectations for the day. When we hold on to rigid expectations, whether it's expecting people to always treat us well, or assuming that everything will go perfectly according to plan, we set ourselves up for unnecessary suffering. Think about a time when you felt deeply disappointed. Was it because something genuinely terrible happened, or because your expectations were far removed from reality? Perhaps you expected someone to behave in a way they couldn't or didn't, or you assumed a situation would unfold without complications. Now imagine how different you might have felt if you had approached that moment with a mindset of acceptance. Lowering your expectations doesn't mean giving up or settling for less. It means freeing yourself from the emotional weight of unrealistic demands. When you accept life for what it is, messy, unpredictable, and full of imperfections, you open yourself to a profound sense of peace. You stop seeing challenges as personal affronts and start viewing them as natural parts of the human experience. This shift allows you to respond to difficulties with greater calm and even a sense of curiosity. This practice is not about becoming indifferent or detached. It's about anchoring yourself in reality. By lowering your expectations, you create room to appreciate life as it is, rather than constantly wishing it to be something else. It's a quiet act of self-kindness, a gift you give to yourself every day, and it's a cornerstone of living a life grounded in Stoic wisdom. When life feels overwhelming, emotions like frustration, fear, and anger can take the driver's seat, pulling you in directions you'd rather not go. But have you ever paused to ask yourself, are these emotions truly rooted in reality, or are they just my interpretation of what's happening? Stoicism invites us to step back and examine this. It teaches that most of our suffering doesn't come from the events themselves, but from how we perceive and react to them. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, put it simply, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Picture this. You're driving to work, focused on the road ahead, when another car suddenly cuts you off. Almost reflexively, anger rises within you. Your heart pounds, and your mind races with indignation. It feels personal, like an attack on your sense of fairness. But what if you stop to reflect? Do you truly know the other driver's motives? Were they being malicious, or was it an honest mistake, a moment of distraction, or even an emergency? The truth is, the event itself, being cut off, is entirely neutral. It's your mind that crafts a narrative, interpreting the situation in a way that sparks anger. If you can learn to separate the facts from the feelings, you'll find you have a choice in how to respond. Instead of letting that flare of frustration ruin your morning, you could acknowledge the fact a car cut you off, set aside the story you're telling yourself, and let it go. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, offered profound insight on this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This perspective is liberating. While you may not control what happens around you, you always have control over how you process and respond to it. So how can you apply this in your daily life? The next time you encounter a setback, whether it's an unkind word, a frustrating delay, or a personal disappointment, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply and ask yourself two simple questions. What are the facts? And what am I adding to this with my emotions? By separating these, you can regain a sense of clarity and calm, even in the midst of chaos. This practice doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or denying their existence. It's about understanding that emotions are temporary and often fueled by assumptions rather than truth. By grounding yourself in what's real, you reclaim your power to navigate life with greater peace and purpose. Life rarely goes as planned. Carefully laid out itineraries unravel, people fall short of our expectations, and unexpected circumstances seem to conspire against us. But is it really life's unpredictability that leaves us frustrated? Or is it our refusal to accept that the world won't always bend to our will? Stoicism offers a profound yet simple solution. Focus only on what you can control. Your thoughts, actions, and attitudes are yours alone to command. Everything else, external events, other people's behavior, and the countless variables of the world, lies beyond your reach. As Epictetus wisely advised, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Consider a scenario. You've meticulously planned a weekend getaway. The bags are packed, the forecast promises sunshine, and you're eager for an adventure. But as the day unfolds, the rain starts pouring, traffic grinds to a halt and your perfect plans crumble. Frustration bubbles up, fueled by all the things going wrong. Yet pause for a moment. Can you control the rain? Can sheer determination make traffic vanish? The answer, of course, is no. But here's where Stoicism shines. Instead of fighting the uncontrollable, embrace it. The rain? It's an invitation to host a cozy indoor picnic or dive into a good book. The traffic? A chance to listen to a podcast you've been meaning to explore. The ruined plans? An opportunity to practice adaptability and gratitude for what's still within your reach. When you focus on what you can control, your response, your creativity, your perspective, frustration gives way to peace and even inspiration. This shift in mindset isn't just about making the best of a bad situation. It's about reclaiming your energy and attention, redirecting them toward what truly matters. Dwelling on what you can't change is like trying to hold back the tide with your hands. It's futile and exhausting. But by concentrating on your response, you gain a sense of agency and resilience, no matter what life throws at you. Take a moment to reflect. Think back to a time when you were consumed by frustration over something beyond your control. Perhaps a delayed flight, an unexpected expense, or someone else's behavior left you seething. Now imagine if you had let go of the need to control the uncontrollable. How might things have changed if you had focused instead on your attitude, your actions, or finding a silver lining? By choosing to focus on what lies within your control, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become an architect of your experience. Life is unpredictable, yes, but it's also so full of opportunities to adapt, grow, and thrive. The more you practice this shift, the more peaceful and empowered you'll feel, even when the storm clouds gather. When you're in the middle of pain or disappointment, it can feel like the world has stopped. The struggle seems endless, and the weight of it feels like it will never lift. But Stoicism offers a comforting reminder. Everything in life is impermanent. Even the most intense challenges are temporary. Marcus Aurelius expressed this beautifully. Time is like a river. As soon as a thing appears, it is carried away, and another comes in its place. Think back to your life 2 years ago. What were the worries that consumed you back then? Do they still weigh as heavily on your heart now? Or have they faded into distant memories? Often, the struggles that once felt insurmountable lose their sharpness with time. They leave behind lessons, growth, and perspective, but the pain itself becomes a shadow. The same is true for whatever hardship you're enduring now. It feels overwhelming, but it's only a moment in time, a passing storm that will eventually clear. Even the most painful experiences often carry hidden blessings. Consider a failed relationship that left you heartbroken, or a missed opportunity that once felt devastating. With time, you may have discovered that those losses led you to something better. Perhaps they guided you to a healthier relationship, a more fulfilling career path, or simply a deeper understanding of yourself. Pain, while difficult in the moment, often serves as a teacher that shapes us into stronger, wiser individuals. When you're in the midst of hardship, it's easy to forget the fleeting nature of life's challenges. But by reminding yourself that time is always moving forward, you can find a sense of hope. Just as storms eventually give way to clear skies, so too will your current struggles pass. This doesn't mean the journey will be easy, but it does mean there's light ahead, even if you can't see it yet. One way to anchor yourself in this perspective is by practicing a simple mantra: "This too shall pass." These 4 words carry immense power. They remind you that no pain, no matter how great, is permanent. The river of time is constantly flowing, carrying away today's troubles and bringing new opportunities for peace and joy. When life feels overwhelming, Repeat this mantra to yourself. Let it ground you in the knowledge that everything is temporary, both the pain and the joy. This awareness doesn't diminish your experiences, it enriches them, helping you appreciate the highs and endure the lows. Trust in the passage of time. Trust that you have the strength to weather the storm. And trust that, sooner than you think, clearer waters await. Life is full of challenges. They show up uninvited, disrupt our plans, and often feel like insurmountable obstacles. But Stoicism offers a powerful perspective. Instead of fearing challenges, we should embrace them as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This idea is transformational. What if the very thing you see as blocking your path is actually guiding you toward a better one? Consider Thomas Edison, who famously failed thousands of times before finally inventing the light bulb. To most, failure on that scale would feel like an insurmountable setback. But Edison didn't see it that way. Each failure to him was a step forward, a clear lesson in what didn't work, bringing him closer to success. This mindset isn't just for inventors or philosophers. It's a tool you can apply in your own life. When a door closes or a plan falls apart, pause for a moment. Instead of succumbing to frustration or despair, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? This simple shift in perspective turns setbacks into stepping stones. Imagine, for example, that you lose your job. At first, it's devastating, a financial and emotional blow. But as the initial shock fades, you begin to see new possibilities. Perhaps it's an opportunity to explore a career path you've always been curious about. Maybe it's a chance to develop a skill, take a course, or even start a business you've dreamed of for years. What seems like an ending can often become the spark of a powerful new beginning. This doesn't mean the process will be easy or that every challenge will immediately feel like a gift. Growth often comes with discomfort and effort. But by facing challenges head-on, you build a kind of mental muscle, resilience, adaptability, and confidence. Each time you overcome an obstacle, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. The next time you encounter a difficulty, big or small, try this. Take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself how this challenge might serve you in the long run. Even if the answer isn't clear right away, trust that there's value in the experience. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the obstacle itself often contains the path forward. When you adopt this mindset, challenges lose their power to overwhelm you. Instead, they become opportunities, openings to learn, grow, and discover new parts of yourself. What stands in your way doesn't have to stop you. It can guide you to a future you never imagined. When life feels overwhelming, it's easy to fall into the trap of waiting for the right moment to begin. You imagine that once the stars align, when you have more time, more money, or more clarity, you'll take that first step. But the truth is, the perfect moment never comes. Waiting only delays progress. The Stoics understood this well, and Epictetus offered timeless advice. First, say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. Every great achievement begins with a small, imperfect action. Consider J.K. Rowling's journey. Struggling financially and raising her child as a single mother, she didn't wait for ideal conditions to write the Harry Potter series. She began where she was, with scraps of paper and the time she could carve out in a small cafe. Step by step, her small, consistent efforts led to the creation of a cultural phenomenon that changed her life and inspired millions. This principle isn't limited to world-famous authors. It applies to all of us. Whatever your goal, learning a new skill, improving your health, or starting a business, the first step doesn't have to be monumental. It simply needs to be taken. Even the tiniest action sets a process in motion, breaking inertia and creating momentum. Think of it like planting a seed. A single seed doesn't look like much, but once it's in the soil, it begins to grow. With time and care, it becomes a flourishing plant. Your efforts work the same way. A small step today, whether it's writing a single sentence, taking a 10-minute walk, or making one phone call, can snowball into meaningful progress over time. When you feel paralyzed by the enormity of your dreams or the obstacles in your way, shift your focus. Instead of worrying about the entire journey, ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today to move closer to my goal? The action doesn't need to be perfect, and it doesn't need to solve everything. It just needs to move you forward. The beauty of starting small is that it lowers the barrier to entry. It silences the excuses that keep you stuck and replaces them with action. Each small win builds confidence, proving to yourself that progress is possible. Over time, these small actions compound, creating results that far exceed what you thought was possible. So take that first step, no matter how small. Write the first word, make the first move, or simply start where you are with what you have. Progress doesn't come from waiting for perfect conditions. It comes from choosing to act, one small step at a time. When challenges arise, our instinct is often to fixate on the problem, why it happened, how unfair it feels, or how it's derailing our plans. This reaction is natural, but it's also counterproductive. Dwelling on the problem keeps us stuck, amplifies our frustration, and drains our energy. Stoicism offers a better approach. Shift your focus to what you can do about the situation. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What's my next step?" Picture this: your laptop crashes minutes before an important presentation. The natural reaction might be panic, frustration, or even despair. But what would a Stoic do? They wouldn't waste time lamenting the situation. Instead, they'd ask, "What are my options?" Borrow a colleague's laptop? Present without slides? Reschedule the meeting? By focusing on solutions, the crisis becomes less overwhelming, and action replaces helplessness. This mindset is transformative because it empowers you to take control of what you can influence. Problems lose their power over you when you redirect your energy from frustration to problem solving. This doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about choosing not to be paralyzed by them. Think about a time in your life when you were faced with a significant challenge. Maybe it was a financial setback, a relationship issue, or a project at work that went off the rails. Did dwelling on the problem help? Or did progress come only when you started looking for solutions? Often, the very act of shifting your focus can bring clarity, opening up possibilities you might not have seen before. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea perfectly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You can't always control what happens, but you can control how you respond. By focusing on solutions, you take back your power and transform obstacles into opportunities to grow, adapt, and innovate. The next time you face a challenge, take a moment to pause. Instead of letting frustration take over, ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve the situation? Even small steps, seeking advice, brainstorming ideas, or adjusting your plan, can shift the narrative from defeat to progress. When you train your mind to focus on solutions, problems become less intimidating. You develop resilience, confidence, and the ability to move forward no matter what life throws at you. Challenges are inevitable, but they don't have to be roadblocks. With the right mindset, they can become stepping stones toward growth and success. Life is unpredictable. Plans go awry, people let us down, and challenges seem to appear when we least expect them. But through it all, the principles of Stoicism offer a guiding light, showing us how to face life's twists and turns with strength, clarity, and calm. Stoicism isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about rising above it. Life will never be free of difficulties, but each struggle is an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. With practice, you'll find that what once seemed overwhelming becomes manageable. You'll discover the peace that comes from knowing that you have the power to endure, adapt, and thrive. If these lessons resonate with you, consider sharing them with someone who might need encouragement today. Remember, Stoicism isn't just about personal growth. It's about spreading strength and calm to those around us. And most importantly, don't forget, the power to overcome life's challenges doesn't come from the outside. It has always been within you. If this resonates with you, please like and subscribe to Daily Stoic Practice and share your insights in the comments. Your thoughts may inspire others on their own journeys to inner peace and resilience. Don't miss our daily videos, insightful discussions, and practical tips for applying Stoic principles to your modern life.